It's a huge gamble if you want to go into business with your spouse, and it may work, it may not. I fell on the side where it worked amazingly well. For all the things that you can plan out, I'm going to say that was 95% luck. Hello and welcome back to Multifamily Strategy. Today, we are talking about being married to your spouse and working in business together. Now, if you're new to the channel, my name's Christian. I own hundreds of rental properties I purchased starting with no money because that was in fact the budget. We used creative finance to buy a multi-hundred unit portfolio. We started a PM company, a sales company, an education company. We have a collection of businesses. My wife retired as a teacher, and she could have done anything she wanted in the world, and what she chose to do was work on all of the companies alongside me. She is instrumental in the Robin Hood Village Resort, our hospitality business. We really cannot run that without her. She really helps in property management, all of our bill pay, manages contractors in the portfolio. I have a spouse who is a fantastic and very involved member of my team. But what does it actually look like to live with your spouse, work with your spouse, mostly work from home with your spouse? What does it look like? What are the pros? What are the cons? I'm going to dive into a few points that I have learned on the journey here. If you're considering doing this, I think this is going to be really helpful. So, number one, there is a piece that is really amazing about just being around your spouse all the time. We're always on the same page about money because we're doing the same job. We're working on the same projects. We share the wins, we share the losses. A lot of marriages and friendships, partnerships, family members, whatever relationships you have, there can be a lot of strain if there's not clarity on financials. And I've seen a lot of marriages where one spouse knows everything about the financials, the other spouse knows nothing. That causes, one, I think, a power differential. But two, that really causes imbalance in the relationship. There's a tension there when you're like, well, I trust you. It's like, man, I would personally hate it if my wife's whole entire program was like, oh, yep, husband's great with money. I trust you. I trust you. I trust you. What if I did something wrong at some point? If I made a bad decision, I don't want to be at the end of the day, I'll take accountability for it. But I don't want to be on the hook for them not knowing what's going on. I don't want to cause undue stress. I like being on the same page as my spouse. So when you have a spouse or a partner in your business who is working specifically alongside you day after day on the same projects towards the same goals, you share the wins, you share the losses. I have found as a married individual that it is fantastic for your marriage to have that piece of unity and togetherness in mission. In addition, you get to spend a lot of hours together. I believe through the course of our marriage, since we work about 85% from home and about 15% from the field, and in the field, we usually work together as well, we will probably spend 4 or 5 times as many hours together as the average married couple. I will literally have like 4 to 5 times the amount of time with my wife through my lifetime, assuming that we both live an average lifetime. A lot of variables there, but all of that extra time has been, in my opinion, absolutely amazing to be on mission together and to be synced up and have that extra time. Those are some of the biggest pros. What are the cons? I think a lot of people, and I've seen this happen a lot, don't really know who their spouse is when they're at work. This is who I am at home and who I am as a professional. And if you don't just work alongside your spouse, you may never really know what's going on there. My wife was a teacher. She's amazing. I visited her class several times. I helped her set up her class. She taught kindergarten in the Renton School District, Washington State, just outside of Seattle. During that time, I saw a lot of amazing things. Nothing that would indicate that she would be good at managing contractors, renovations, managing large groups of adults. The things that she did out of teaching absolutely blew me away. I've also seen couples where they started working with their spouse and they went, uh-oh, my spouse may actually be a really lame employee. I got completely lucky. There is no reason to believe that a teacher with a master's degree in teaching elementary school, a kindergarten teacher, would be amazing at real estate. There's not a ton of directly transferable skills. It's a whole new business. I lucked out. I have a wife who's highly skilled, who stays focused, who doesn't need a lot of direction and can figure stuff out. What I've seen happen to a lot of couples is they start working together and they go, oh no, either I'm too much of an introvert and I actually need more time, like not hanging out with my spouse, or I see people who get stuck on like, oh no, now that I'm around them, they actually kind of frustrate me and I don't like the way they work. And we're not great coworkers. We're just great partners. We're great husband and wife. We're good at raising a family together and we suck at working together. It's a huge gamble if you want to go into business with your spouse. It's a huge gamble and it may work, it may not. I fell on the side where it worked amazingly well. For all the things that you can plan out, I'm going to say that was 95% luck. Like, sure, we're good friends. Sure, we know that we work well together in a marriage. There was no reasonable reason to believe that we would be equally good at doing business together in real estate. Happened to work out. Now, if you're planning this and it's something that you're looking at doing, or you're trying to figure out how to integrate this, there are some things that we learned. One, on the front end, I bought the resort primarily knowing that my wife was retiring because it had a wedding venue. It had some pieces that I thought she could work on. And I went, hey, I'm going to be proactive and try to find a business that my wife can be actively involved in. She wanted to be part of the business. I tried to craft a role from her. That was a terrible mistake. Do not, and this is just from experience, do not, if you are a husband or wife who has started a business and you are about to go, like, bring a spouse into it, do not assign all of their roles. You do not want your spouse working for you. You definitely want your spouse working with you, which means there are tasks in your business. There are always things that can be tightened up. Allow them to get into the business and start doing tasks. Here's what we found. She hates doing the weddings, but she's really good at doing the things that I assigned. I was like, hey, got this resort. Can you help us with this? She took over a lot of the staff there and now takes too much of her time, which is a huge bummer because I'd rather have her on the things that she's amazing at, like the incredible at, which is managing contractors, making sure that everyone has been paid in a timely manner, that all of our vendors are satisfied, that we know where we're at on every renovation, every step of the process. She is so good at the detail work. Our renovations go faster. Our leasing goes faster. Our renovations cost less. And when I need to know what's going on with a unit or a lease or a tenant, she knows the answer to every single one. That is incredibly valuable. That was not assigned or designed. That was someone else who you love, know, and trust stepping into your business and carving out a role for themselves. I found, like, with partnerships and in marriages, if you let the roles develop and you believe that you are married to a competent individual, a lot of the roles and the things will work out better than you would have planned them. I would not assign someone a role where they are an employee in your company. If you're going to do the husband and wife work together thing, like a marriage, it needs to be a freaking partnership. Make sure that everyone's voice is heard. Make sure that everyone has power in it. Do not be a tyrant in your marriage or in your business relationship with your spouse. If you can avoid these things, I have found it immensely rewarding personally. If it's something that you're looking at investigating, I think it's been amazing for my marriage. I think it's been amazing just for my general lifestyle. It is fantastic getting to, on the rare occasion that we have a break, be able to run over and cross the street and go get crepes or coffee. To be able to take breaks with your partner just to sit down and talk about the business. It also makes your business a heck of a lot more fun. It is really fun when you're working on a project you're really passionate about, having your spouse come in and ask you a bunch of questions about it and be actually involved, like truly understanding your business. It makes a huge difference. So if it's something you're considering, I hope this video is helpful. This is an experience that was unexpected for me when I started my journey to financial freedom, retire my wife, buying the real estate portfolio. We didn't know how this piece would look. The way it panned out worked amazingly for me. I hope it works just as well for you. If you enjoyed this or want any other content like this, please let me know in the comments. I'll try to get Danny to weigh in on the other end of joining a company where your husband has started multiple companies, arguably too many companies at once, and how one would actually come in, clean up some of the mess, make a better business. I'll see if I can get Danny to film an episode in a part 2 to this just for y'all. But again, leave any suggestions in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode.